great storytelling. Support. Hello, my name is Stephen Hillman, aka the psalmistscribe, writer and creative arts enthusiast, and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, consider liking the video or subscribing to the channel. Basically, what we do here is we talk about Christian art. I love art. I love what it does. I love how it inspires. And today we're getting into storytelling. As you may or may not know, my art that I am most passionate about is writing, and at the core of that is storytelling. From before since I was a little kid, I enjoyed storytelling. I didn't consider it an art form. I didn't really consider it a job. It's just something I like to do. Even when I'm telling somebody something simple, I always like to write it down. I always like the narrative. It is probably what kept me plugged into TV shows, movies, comic books, and even the Bible. What I now look back on it, why I'm so fascinated with these things is, if it had a story, I was so into it. History was my favorite subject. Because while everybody else was just bummed out about school, I enjoyed history because I enjoyed the history. I enjoyed the story of it, made up or otherwise. I just really enjoyed stories. I love stories, and it took me too long to realize that was my passion, and I didn't think that mattered, that I can make that into something. And I certainly didn't think that it was God's gift, like storyteller, making up stuff or just telling something that happened to me or something in an interesting way. But now that I know that, yep, storytelling, that's what I got, and that's what I'm going to share with the world. So why is it important? I kind of had to figure this out myself. And then I kind of realized, because I didn't think writing at all was any kind of career, or I knew that you could write a book. But beyond that, I didn't really see what was in front of the face, that there are stories everywhere. Every business, commercials, they use the art of storytelling, either to sell products or just to sell you something, tell something interesting. A lot of human history is conveyed through oral speech, just telling a story over and over again. Jesus told parables. I learned primarily through storytelling, and that is how I would like to convey my message. Any message, any narrative is through the art of storytelling. It's important, and one I guess you gotta figure out is, how do you relate a story? First, you gotta have a concept. You gotta know, what's this about? What are you trying to say? So I guess there has to be a point. There has to be a narrative. It doesn't always have to have the traditional beginning, middle, in the story, and have a nice little bow around it. Because oftentimes when a story, we jump right into middle of things. We don't always know the beginning. We don't always know the ending, because that's just life. Like, you might get like my stories don't, they're not always going to begin with my main character being born. It's going to begin in a certain spot in their life, and there's a certain point. There is a certain kind of values that I'm trying to convey within that narrative. But with storytelling, I can do it in an instant way. I'm also a Sunday school teacher, but I understand that everybody doesn't want a lecture all the time. If I'm just shoving things at your face, I had a teacher in high school that's all she would do. She taught science, and science was not my subject. And she would just bombard us with a whole lot of information, and me and my friend and half the class couldn't get all the notes down on time, and so we missed half the information. And she taught a lot, but I couldn't retain much. But what I've learned in storytelling, if you put things within the story. You know, like we used to teach teach our societies, civilizations through fables, because those fables had a point. Uh, you know, they taught us about greed, they taught about modesty, they taught us not to lie, you know, like Peter and the Wolf or something like that. They taught us things, and because you made an illustration of the point, the lesson maintained. The lessons got down deep, uh, and this is why storytelling is very needful. It's not always entertain. It's not always about entertainment. Although I do like to make stuff that hopefully you will entertaining, but I do like to also convey the message, whatever message that the author is trying to convey. Uh, but storytelling is a gift. That's kind of a modest brag, but I believe it is a gift. I believe it is a gift from God, and I believe it is a skill that you can use to really do some good in the world. When I make a story, you know, when I make a character, I only know certain parts of a story. This is kind of weird. When I get it, when I have a concept or idea, like right now I'm writing something, and I determine I'm gonna have the little short story done by the end of the month, and I'm gonna try to write at least until September one short story, which I will convert each one into an ebook. By September, I will have three new ones. But on Amazon, I will sure have five story ideas, five ebooks I put up there. Uh, but when I'm writing these stories, I'm like noticing that I don't always know where they're going. Uh, it's just kind of funny. I kind of know the point that I'm trying to make, but with these characters, I make each of these characters and I put kind of care into them, and I kind of know the lesson or the value that I want my reader to gauge from my writings, but I don't always know where it's going. There's with the story I'm currently writing now is kind of cool, so I might look back at this and just kind of laugh myself. I know vaguely the ending of my story. I'm already through the beginning phase of it, but everything doesn't connect, and that's okay. If you're a writer or you're a storyteller and you don't know how each and every scene of a story is going to go down, that is fine. Uh, you know, maybe that's just me. That's just my writing process. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it, and if I really believe that is a gift, then it's going to work itself out. And what I want to convey next is the how do you tell a good story. And I am the critic of my own style because I am limited to what I can now produce. I want to create content that hits on as many of the senses as possible. All right. Right now I'm limited to writing, but I want you to hear it and I want you to see it. So sometimes, you know, I don't have that much footage. You might see stock photography, and I get these from various sites. They're photos. I'll put some links in the bottom. Like I might go to like Film Pack is one that I like. It's moderately expensive. I'll put that down in the link below. There's a code, you'll get 10% off. That is an affiliate link, just upfront honest with you. You can sign up for a free 30-day free trial, and you'll get like about 100 clips. Anyway, but I want to convey things visually, so you can, I really want to take what I have imagined and put it in your head. That is, I believe, the goal and the struggle of an artist is to take our thoughts and as much as possible and to make it vividly clear of what you're thinking. I'm both scared of this, of making my thoughts transparent, but at least when I make stories, that is my goal, to make my stories, my imagination, transparent to my audience. Technology has not caught up to that. So right now, we've got this. Anyway, that's I'm gonna try to wrap this up. I'm trying not to go crazy long with the content. Thank you for coming, and well, yeah, I know. If you're wondering why do I have a dagger, it's no good, no real reason. I collect some daggers. I collect swords. You might see something like this. I'm holding this. It looks cool. There's a story behind this. All right. That's it for the chat. That's it for today's episode. If you like this, please consider subscribing. Shoot me a comment. Anyway, God bless. And P.S. It's going to be good.